This is over number 13. Nepal. 102 for 5. And let's see who joins his captain. Airy joins his captain. And so Airy in the first game really seeing his team through. Coming in at number 7, played a very good innings indeed. And saw his team home. And seems to favor the ball coming onto the bat. And there's down the leg side. As Padel looking to whip that down the leg side. Misses. White signal by umpire Bayam. And the total now on to 104. 104 for 5. Over number 13 in progress. In lovely sunshine here at the Park Hill playing field. And not a lot of breeze. He's driving square down to third man. Otney Lewis is there. Picks up. Keeps it down to a single. He goes on to 22. And Airy, who is yet to get off the mark, comes into strike. Now he's looking to take guard from umpire Bayam, who's just looking to the pavilion. Now he has given the right away for Airy, who now marks his crease. 105 for 5. As he's driving out to extra cover, beats extra cover, but mid-off. Tidies up, keeps it down to a single. The total goes on to 106. 106 for 5. As Captain Padel comes back into strike. So Airy off the mark. Padel on 22. He flashes at that outside the off stump and wide signal by umpire Bayam. Total now on to 107. 107 for 5 in over number 13. So a bit of encouragement being given to Ned. He's looking to run that down to third man. Luckily for him, he didn't get a touch. Douglas takes it cleanly. There was Captain Rohit looking to run that down to third man, and he misses, and Douglas taking it, standing some 15 or so meters back. There is no run. So Ned has been rather tidy in his spell, and he works it out to mid-wicket. Mid-wicket comes off the boundary. Just a single. Total now on to 108. 108 at the end of over number 13. 108 for 5. Good tidy over by Ned. And really keeping the pressure on. As we see Melius having a word with Hooper. Ball being tossed to Hooper. And what would think? I think this is a final over for Asif Hooper. We're going to see over number 17. Over number 14. To be bowled by Asif Hooper. And Captain Padel, who is on 23. Rohit Padel will take strike. So Hooper decides to bowl between umpire and the stumps. And he's having a word with Douglas, the keeper. And perhaps Douglas would have observed something, just running down and having a word with the bowler. Again, he's playing it neatly down to fine leg, and they go through for a single. And Redhead was there, Keeps it down to 1, so he goes on to 24. Patel as Airy comes back into strike. 109. 109 for 5. And he goes back, tucks it down to short fine leg. Again, he scampers through for a single. Redhead moving smartly to his left fields. Hodge was covering ground to his right, backing up. And the total now, 110 for 5. We are in over number 14. Sweeping at that, missing and taken cleanly by Douglas, who removes the bails. But no damage done. So there was a captain essaying a sweep. In, goes back, tucks it out to mid-wicket. The Haps scores for 1. Hooper is there. Keeps it down to a single. And total now on to 111. Nelson, very superstitious number for the English. And 24, 25 to captain Rohit Padel. Airy, who's on 3. Guides this out to the sweeper coming off the square cover boundary. And keeps it down to a single, so 112. So no boundaries being scored in recent times. And so the win was really pulling things back. 112 for 5. This time he's sweeping out to square leg. And Hodge moving smartly wrong. Feels the return comes in. And just a single. So the total now on to 113. Very good over indeed. And a good spell by Asif Hooper. And being congratulated there by keeper Dylan Douglas. So at the end of over number 14, it's 113 for 5. And Ned will continue from the southern end. He will bowl number 15. So it's 5 to Airy. 26 to his captain, Rohit Padel. And so it's Nepal having first strike, having won the toss and decided to bat. So Nepal in some pre-practice matches before the World Cup here in the Caribbean. T20 World Cup slated for the 1st to the 29th of June. Some 20 teams will be featured in that competition. In fact, Larry Edwards comes into the attack. And that was played very smartly out to short extra cover. And they scamper through for a single. So Captain Padel rotating the strike. He goes on to 27. And Airy, who is on 5, comes into strike. He cuts and beats backward point. Hodge has some running to do. He can't get there. He goes across the ropes now for 4. And after some time now, a boundary. And the total now on to 118. 118 for 5 in over number 15. Sammy plays it out squared. Milius covering grounds, not picking up cleanly, and they threw for 1. Airy with that single, he goes into double figures. And the total goes on to 119. 119. And that single, Airy, should be on 10. And it's forward defensively, that is lobbed to a short Mid-wicket, had there been a forward short leg, that would have been an easy catch. But in this T20, not afforded that luxury. So Larry Edwards will continue. He's swinging that out too long on the bounce. A single. And the total now went to 120. 120 for 5. And Captain Padel goes on to 27. I'll wait on the scorer. Harry looking to run that down to third man. Misses, taken cleanly by the keeper, who removes the bails, but the back foot was well grounded. And over number 15 comes to an end. So 28 to Padel, 8-2. Looking at the scoreboard on the far side, 10 to Airy. And it's what? 26 to Captain Patel. So Descartes would pick it up from the northern end. Has some 2 wickets to his credit. So 2 out of the 5 wickets that have fallen. And to Descartes, who is going to pick it up, bowling his right arm medium stuff from the northern end. So it's Captain Rohit Padel. And he works it out to mid-wicket. Lotney Lewis covering grounds, feels well, keeps it down to a single. Return comes in and overthrow there, and they're scampering through. No, I think they were looking for a second, but eventually they were scampering back to their respective creases. In fact, they got 2 runs. And so 2-2 Rohit, who now moves to 28, 122. He's whipping, looking to whip that down the leg side, misses, wide signal by umpire Butler. And the total now on to 123. So 1-2-3 for 5. We're in over number 16. Descartes just losing his line there. And that went down the leg side. Captain Padel must have been disappointed missing that. They can work that out to backward point. They go through for 1. That's all they will be. As the total goes on to 124. 124 for 5. So rotation of the strike. Here he comes back into strike. Sporting number 45 on the back of his shirt. Shadrach Descartes, St. Lucian. In the Windward Island Volcanoes, got a good delivery take down there. There was an appeal there by Descartes, good delivery. Maybe at the inside edge into the pad. He wanted a single, but it was not there. Descartes was closing in very quickly. And yeah, we recognizing the danger. Has very quickly returned to his crease. So 124 for 5. 31 to Captain Rohit. And 10 to Airy. And he's driving that out to wide extra cover. Covers grounds, feels well. Beautiful piece of work on the boundary. And they come back for the second. Total now on to 126. So good piece of work by Long off on the boundary. 126 for 5. It's working it out to mid-wicket. That would beat Hodge, that 4. Hodge looking to cover some grounds, but that was sweetly timed. And into defense it goes for 4. 130 now for 5. And 130 for 5. We are in over number 16. Airy, who is on 14 according to our scorer, in. I think that's a good delivery. Once a single, it's not there. So good finish there by Descarte. 130 for 5. At the end of over number 16, so some 4 overs remaining, and it would be pretty interesting to see how Melius use his bowlers in these fading overs. We can see Larry Edwards to continue. He will bowl over number 17. I think there's Kavem Hodge, who still has 2 overs in the bank. There's his Otney Lewis, the off-spinner, who has not yet bowled a delivery, so not likely, but he's still Redhead, who also has 2 overs, so he has options. But it's going to be Captain Rohit Patel to take strike. Larry Edwards is going to be his final over. So Captain would want to push on from here, as Edwards would be between the umpire and the stumps. And he scoops that over fine leg. Long run here for Redhead, who pulls it back inside the boundary. They come back for the second. Once a third, it's not there. And that was Captain there scooping that over short fine leg and getting himself 2. He goes on to 33. The total now on to 132 for 5. We're in over number 17. He swing top edge, that would clear the fence. That's over mid-wicket for 6. Sweep shot, and he went high over mid-wicket for 6. Total now on to 138. And Captain Padel goes on to 39. 138 for 6. 39 to Padel. 14 to Airy. So there would have to be a replay. Well, the ball has been returned. See, third umpire in Kaman Green making his way out with a box of ball, but that ball has been returned. Umpire Butler was just on the fence there, just checking. So Edwards now picks it up.
I'll talk to you about the book scoring a little later.
Throws it out to Butler. In fact, it appears there's still a ball to be retrieved. Umpire Butler is there. So too is Descarte. So play has been held up momentarily. Byam really inspecting the ball. He's satisfied with the condition. Now tosses it to Larry Edwards. So play will resume after a short break. 39 to Padel, 14 to Airy. So a good partnership building here between these two. And Larry Edwards will continue. Padel looking to take the aggression to the bowler. We're looking to take that attack. Again, he's looking to scoop that take near the chest. There's Douglas. And he gets a single. He goes on to 40. Douglas standing up. Reaction time there. Very, very limited. And so he goes on to 40. So Larry Edwards, he will now bowl to Airy. He's driving, beats extra cover and down to defense for 4. It was short, it was wide, it gave him the room, the width to free his arms, and he banged it past Asif Hooper at short extra cover and down to the boundary for 4. The total now onto 143 for 5. He's slapping that over long on for 6. A good over here for Nepal. Already there are 2 6s in the over, a 4. Already I think some 18 or 19 runs some scored off the over. 149 for 5 over number 17. I think there's a final delivery for Larry Edwards in his spell. Previous game had 320 off his spell. And he's driving. Asif Hooper covering grounds, knocks it down at extra cover. They're coming back for the second, and they will get it easily. And so good aggressive running on the part of Nepal. And they overcome Swan, and it's now 151 for 5 at the end of over number 17. And let's see who's going to pick it up from the northern end. Looks like Ned. So it's going to be Ned to pick it up from the northern end. He's there with his captain Milios, trying to decide on his field. And it's going to be the captain, Vidal, to take strike. He's on 40. 26 to Airy. So Darren Ned, right arm, fast medium. He's slapping that pass backward point. This would go across the ropes. It does. Well played there by Captain Padel. The total goes on to 155. He moves on to 44. And he inspects his bat immediately when that was struck. But he's picked up the boundary of the very first delivery, so putting pressure on the bowler very early in the over. So he had some width outside the off stump. Ned would want to correct that. And again he opens up and guides it down to third man. They go through for 1, they will come back for the second, and they will get that comfortably. And total now on to 157. Padel goes on to 46. Seem to favor that offside. He opens up and open the face of the bat and running it down to wide third man. So 157 for 5. And he's driving again out between the backward point and the wide third man. They come back for the second. The return comes in, not a good one. And 2 more to the captain. He goes on to 48. 159. Looking to be very aggressive. The running in between the wickets has been very, very good indeed. So 48 to Padel. Areas on 26. 159 for 5. We are in over number 18. So 2 overs remaining. He's looking to scoop that over. Third man misses, taken cleanly by Douglas standing back. And there is no run. So a precious dot goes into the scorebook. 159 for 5. Kenny opens up. Good piece of work on the third man boundary and keeps it down to a single. Larry Edwards on the third man boundary, diving effort. And you can hear the shouts of congratulations. 160 now for 5. So with 1 delivery remaining in this, the 18th over. As Airy comes in to strike. The ball wheeling out of the ground. Yorker length delivery. Airy FC in a big drive. Misses and the off stump went walking. Success that the win was needed at this stage. Breaking that partnership. Airy makes his way back for a good supporting innings here to his captain. And Nepal now 160 for 6. 160 for 6. Captain Padel is still there. And Sampal Kami making his way out to join his captain, going in at number 8. So Sampal joining his captain. His captain is on 49. Sampal would not have strike. And it's going to be Redhead with the penultimate over. And he will be bowling to Captain Rohit Padel, who surveys the field. Let's see, there is a man on the fine leg boundary. Third man inside the 30-yard circle. Backward point. Extra cover. Sweeper. And he's driving down to third man. Anthony Lewis getting his big frame behind it. Keeps it down to a single, so 52 Padel. And he will give you the stats in a minute. As Sampal will take his first delivery. So here comes Redhead. Yorker length, digs it out, not able to stop it in his follow through, and they scamper through for 1. And the total goes on to 162. So good delivery there by Redhead, right up in the block hole. And Sampal had to dig it out. So 162 for 6. To swing that beats the keeper down to the boundary. That's 4 wides. I would think, yes, the wide come signal here by umpire Bayam. So 5 runs added to the total, 167. So there is Padel 50 coming in of 35 deliveries, 4 fours and 1 6 in his half century. So Redhead wants to tighten up. 167 for 6. And he's driving out too long off it, over the fence, 1-2 bounces across the ropes for 4. And so Padel continues to push on. He moves on to 54. The total now on to 171. 171 for 6. So Sampal, the non-striker, he's on 1. 54 to Padel, who is on strike. And he's driving out to mid-off. Catch taken. And there was Ned at mid-off. He was driving straight into the hands of Ned, who takes the catch. 171 for 7. Diving catch there by Ned. And success on the part of WINWARDs. He makes his way back and out in the middle. So 2 new batters at the crease. So Padel having had a pretty good knock for so Practice makes his way out to join Sampal. So Practice takes guard, looks around the field. 171 for 7. Success for Redhead. And that is lapped over the top. That would clear the fence. It does. That's 6. It was back of a length and he stood up and he slapped it over long off. And clearing the fence for 6. And the total now on to 177. 177 for 7. Lots of 7s. And I think there is a 1 delivery remaining in this, the penultimate over. Over number 19. And he's swinging at that top edge. Lewis is circling underneath it. Takes the catch. And so success for Redhead of his final delivery. Having been smacked for 6 the previous delivery. He came back, picked up the wicket off his final delivery of his spell. And it's now 177 for 8. 177 for 8 here at the Park Hill playing field. So Nepal just losing their way a bit, and 1 over remaining. We wait to see who will bowl that final over. It looks like Ned, and as I am now joined by Anthony Denny, who had other duties to perform. So welcome to Park Hill playing field, and welcome to the final over of the Nepal's innings.
Thank you very much, Charlo, and good day to all who are in tune to this broadcast. Of course, you're following us on Facebook on VC3 channel 114, and also on our YouTube page. 177 for 8. The Nepalese team batting first here. And when I was following the game, and there was an onslaught early on.
Definitely there was. But the winners have pulled things back as Bohara comes out to join Sampal. So Sampal will be on strike. He's facing up to Ned, who is bowling this final over. His last over. Send the stumps flying. Ned in. Got a Yorker length delivery. I know. Sampal is coming down hard on it, and Ned knocking it down, and there is no run. So a precious dot at this stage goes into the scorebook, Eddie. So 5 legal deliveries remaining.
Without a doubt, and Ned for somewhat of a shortened run, but he's really generating some pace.
And he's taken on the pad onto a short fine leg, so 2 dots go into the scorebook. And Nepal 177 for 8. So Ned, he has had a good spell and kept things tight, and really want to finish very strongly here. And he's swinging that out to mid-wicket who comes off the boundary, Descarte, and not a good throw indeed, and giving away that extra run. So the total goes on to 179 for 8. It was a high return, and there was Douglas looking to pluck it out of the air, and it bubbles through his hands, and the batters scamper through for a second. So 179 for 8 with some 3 legal deliveries remaining. Swinging and missing, and good over so far by Ned. Some 3 dots in the over, just 2 runs, and he would want to perhaps take out a wicket or ensure that there are no boundaries in these 2 deliveries.
Well, thus far, a very good last over here from Ned as he continues.
He's driving and missing again outside the off stump, throwing the kitchen sink at it, as we would say, missing, and another dot goes into the scorebook. So a very, very good over indeed by Darren Ned for the final over. 179 for 8. 1 legal delivery remaining. And Ned, can we see a dot ball? We'd wait to see. Sampal taking on the pad, and they scamper through for a single. So let's see any signal from umpire Butler. So inside edge into the pad. 180 for 8 of 20. And I think the win was really pulled things back very nicely, Eddie, getting among the wickets and really putting pressure on Nepal to the back end of the innings.
Yes, and the bowling attack, must be commended here today. Park Hill, as you know, very precocious field indeed, but it's a very small outfield, and 179, a target of 189 runs per over, as we would have seen in the very first game last Tuesday, is gettable here at Park Hill, and we must commend the effort of the Wooden Islands bowling outfit. Ned, of course, leading his team off, and the likes of Descartes, and not forgetting Larry Edison. Commended.
Yeah, they definitely have to be commended. I think they kept things very tight. There was one occasion where the Nepal had the bowling under some pressure, But from the moment they got that wicket, they continued to put some pressure on Nepal, pull things back. Nepal finishing at 180 for 9. And I think the winners really, they would have strengthened their spin attack. But we note that Anthony Lewis did not even bowl. So, but the spinners came in, they held things tightly, held their own. And Nepal seemed to favor the faster stuff.
Without a doubt.
launch Vincy Mass 2024
on Friday, May 17th at Upper Bay Street. Get ready to unleash the runs and the rhythm,
the vibe, the energy, and the pace.
Yeah, good thinking on the part of Sampal. Saw him moving and he banged it in a bit short. Good bounce, good carry, and Melius had to watch it go by and taken cleanly by the keeper standing back. So good carry for the keeper. Surface had been very, very true. And the bounce, the pace, and certainly is the sort of surface that you can play through the line. And once he's up in the slot, Melius, I'm sure, will go with it.
This one is down the leg side and will be signaled wide. It is signaled wide. And one more to the total, 18 now for no loss in this, the third over. I believe 2.3 deliveries thus far. And Sampal
losing his radar.
Yes.
A bit.
Talking about losing the radar, we've lost a bit of the sunshine, but certainly that has not affected conditions here at Park Hill, as Sampal with that number 10 on his back, outside the off stump and taking the pace off of that one, Sampal. And Melius was somewhat seemed to be caught in two minds there. He eventually just poked at it and pushed it calmly into the offside.
Well, he certainly was received by a well-bowled slow delivery there by Sampal. And Melius looked to tap it into the offside on the bounce to the keeper, who didn't collect it cleanly, but there's still no run.
So here comes Sampal. Outside the off stump and driven square. That's 4 well taken runs, but I believe Irie felt he should have done a little bit better there.
He definitely should have done better. Yeah, he would be disappointed. So too with Sampal. I think he was looking at the bounce, didn't get the body behind it, and it went past him and into the fence.
So 4 more runs to the total, 22 without loss. And we are just about 1 more delivery remaining in this, the third over. As right arm over the wicket. And again, oh, that was well placed. Down to third man there from Melius. Through his class.
Definitely. I think that's the shot of the morning. He waited on it and he placed it. Rather than looking for power, he looked for placement. And it was really a gem.
So 26 after the first 3 overs, going at 8 runs per over. And these two at the wicket, especially Captain Melius, who's on 20, they're now stepping up the scoring rate here for the Winner Islands as they chase the target of 180.
I recall Melius at the under-19 level at Cumberland. I played a blistering innings of 100. I think it was against Jamaica. He really took the bowlers to all parts of the ground. And you saw that talent in the young man. And here he is at the Windward's level, regional level, and really now proving his worth.
Well, we're going to be having some spin from the back there, and not out says umpire, loud appeal.
Seems to be going down the leg. Butler, experienced umpire,
Former Westindies
player,
yes.
left arm fast medium bowler.
Lalit. This time punches into that point position. Fielder is there to cover. That's the end of over number 4, and at the end of it, it is 33 without loss. The Windward Islands going at just over 8 runs per over, and in this the early overs, not a bad
start. And I think that in this over, Lalit, who had been struck for 6, but I think he came back very good in the end. Really tightened it up and not giving Melius that opportunity to lift him over the top. Most of the deliveries after that had to be played off the back foot.
Yes. So let's see how things are going to continue. We had Sampal who started, but spin now being introduced from this to the southern end. So Captain Rohit Padal looking to slow things down. Looks as if it's
Airy. Yes.
Napindra Singh Airy coming out of Ogis, and Ogis gets one wide outside the off stump. That's very wide indeed. And Airy not off to the kind of start that Captain Padel would like to see. Tucks away at his sleeves, and are now coming to bowl once again. And that was short outside the off stump wide, and August should have really and truly done better with that one.
Well, it is straight to backward point.
So 34 without loss, and this is the 4th over. After deliveries already bowled in this one, as Irie comes into Ogis, and Ogis, well, that was uppishly, and again, we see the not good feeling there from the Nepalese fielder.
Certainly, I think this is an area that they'll have to work on going into the World Cup. They will have to do quite a bit of work in terms of their fielding, because we have seen so many lapses already, and you cannot afford to do that when you're playing against international teams.
They will hurt you, and hurt you badly as far as that is concerned. Nepal would have taken number 2 spot coming out of Asia. This one is swung high over, long on, into the bushes. As a matter of fact, it strikes the concrete structure
and
just above the ground.
Rebounded into the bushes, and it was very hard indeed. But I was going to make the point very interestingly, because Airy has not tried to bowl this slow it up, flight the ball. He has pushed every delivery through, and they are actually playing him as a medium pacer, which makes life much easier for the batters.
So true. Much more easier, Charlo. 41 without loss, and this the 5th over. And Melius settles Airy. Had a good innings in the first game, scored 50 plus. That would have carried the Nepalese team home, but this one is now driven into the offside, and playing that short extra cover position comes around, picked up. Total remains on 41 without loss. Outside the off stump, and it was full pitched there from Airy.
I think Melius was looking at the umpire, hoping that it would be a wide.
Comes in once again. This one cracked, and 1-2 bounces into the long off area, and that's 4 well taken runs there from Melius.
So Melius continued to show his intent, and he's been striking the ball very well indeed. Airy not flighting the delivery, pushing them through, and Melius likes it as it comes onto the bat very nicely, and he's capitalizing on every opportunity he gets.
So after 5 overs, 45 for no wicket, and 9 runs exactly per over the run rate for the Windward Islands Volcanoes, and very good start indeed from this opening pair. Captain Kamano Melius, he's on 36 not out, and just 4 from the bat of August. Of course, the bunch of the strike being taken up by Melius.
Well, definitely, and we see Lalit has been pulled out of the attack, and it looked like Pratis, who comes back into the attack. He had 1 over So he's coming back into the attack, and it's the Ogis who is really a spectator, who was a spectator now taking strike.
Take some strike. Here comes practice now to Ogis, and this one wraps him on the pad. He was looking to pull it somewhere over backward square leg, but didn't get it back onto ball. One ball remaining in this, the 6th over, and they're just well, they're over 10 runs per over at this point in time. The winner of the Volcanoes, as we await the return of the ball. Both batsmen there on screen are looking into the area, that mid-wicket area, where the ball went over. I've yet to see any thing being done by the reserve umpire. So.
Well, the umpire Biome is down at the boundary edge looking over the wall. I'm not too sure. Perhaps there are some youngsters on that side going to retrieve the ball. And he's looking because we have not seen the third umpire as
so
going out with any replacement. But certainly what we have seen so far from the two games, it is that the faster bowlers seem to get hit about rather easily because the bounce is true. The ball comes on very nicely.
Certainly.
And batters are comfortable playing through the line. Well, so I think the ball has been returned.
Yes, it is. And there's the umpire making his way back into the middle. In the background, one of those lovely little houses here at Park Hill. A nice community indeed, and a sporting community.
Very much so.
Close to South Rivers, another community that loves their cricket. Produced former Westindies fast bowler Cameron Coffey.
Definitely. Quite a few players coming out from the South Rivers. Butler, who played for the West Indies as well. South Rivers chap. Lyndon James, who played for the Windwards. We have seen him at Stanford.
Yes.
South Rivers as well. So there are a few names that you can look around and can speak of.
Well, Obis is about to resume his innings as the ball has been returned, and here comes practice now. And this one had to look like a bit of edge onto that one, down to that short third man position. That's the end of the 6th over. At the end of it, 59 for no loss. The Windward Islands are chasing 180 for victory, just under 10 runs per over.
Just under 10 runs and over, and I think a pretty good start by the Windwards, putting the pressure, early pressure on Nepal, and they would have to do some work. We see Melius just signaling to the pavilion. Perhaps he's going to done away with his helmet, and it's going to be Lalit who is going to pick it up from the southern end. So it's going to be spin, and Melius, he's comfortable. He decides, I'm going to done with the helmet, and I'm going to see how I can take charge. He's on 36, Ogis on 18, and really a good opening partnership. 50 coming in 5.3 overs.
Well, it was a little slow for the openers, especially in the first 2 overs. But since that third over, they've really taken to the attack of Nepal, and hence, of course, scoring at just about 10 runs over in the first 6. So Lalit being switched from the northern to the southern end as the breeze blows across the outfield, and this one spoons off the face of the bat, not immediately the pitch of it, but nonetheless fell into a harmless zone there for Melius. He got a single in the process, Charlo.
Definitely a good delivery, spinning across him is the left arm spinner, getting that one to go across the right hander. I think he was looking to tuck it on the onside, got a leading edge.
So Lalit it is to continue. This time to Ogist. Tries. And this one is going to beat the fielder. The bounce would have undid him there. And that's 4 more runs.
Definitely. He was stepped hard. It bounced in front of the fielder. Short, a diminutive guy. Bounce. He was jumping for all his worth. It went over his hands, across the ropes and into the fence for 4. So Ogis continue to enjoy taking the attack to Nepal.
So here's Lalit once again. And this time he tries down to long off. And the fielder is on the fence there. 1 more to the total.
65 without loss. We're in over number 7.
So the pressure definitely on the Nepalese team at this point in time. They'll want to see the back of one of these very, very soon. And there's Melius just gently tapping it into the onside. And Lalit seemed to be giving Melius a bit of a worry. Still was not to the pitch of that one, Charlo.
Well, he was content to just defend.
So let's see how he responds to this one. Again, pushing out and into that short mid-wicket position. The fielder comes 66 without loss. There's Lalit. And this one, in the end, good work there by Irie on the deep mid-wicket boundary. And getting that return in, just 1 more added to the total. Now on to 67.
So at the end of over number 7, 67, 80, 38 to Melius, 23, 24 to Ogis. And a very good start indeed by the Windward Islands.
Yes, the dressing room at this point in time for the Volcanoes should be pretty comfortable. The batters are to come. The likes of Captain Hodge and company, certainly they will be feeling pretty, as I said, comfortable in the dressing room and under no immediate pressure at this point in time. But I believe these two will want to continue and get as close as possible to the 100 to make life even more easier for the batters to come.
Well, definitely. And there's a change in bowling at the far end, the northern end. It's going to be Gulshan.
Looks like Gulshan, yes.
Who is going to pick it up from the northern end, but he'll bowl to the left-handed Ogis, Hakeem Ogis.
So Gulshan, right arm, medium fast to Ogis, and Ogis just guides this one down to that short third man position and immediately off for the single. 1 more to the total, now 68 for no loss. The Windward Island Volcanoes in this, the 8th over. And Gulshan, there's him on screen. Tall, lanky figure indeed. Inspects a ball and now turn. The number 15 bearing down on his back, races in now. This time to Melnus, drives. Lovely shot indeed. It looked easy, but it was a well-taken drive there by Melnus.
It was just, he caressed it through the covers, and long off had a run, but you do get value for your shots, and it raced across the outfield, and in the end, he just watched it go across the ropes. So 42 now to Melius, really a good captain innings here, and putting his team into a very good position.
Without a doubt, it's 72 without loss, and this the 8th over. And just caressed that one, but it seemed to just picked up speed as it made its way to the boundary. Gulshan. And this one goes square. They're off for a quick single, and I believe Auguste would have been in.
Yeah, I think he would have been there comfortably. And so good judgment of the single there. He was backing up very quickly. And the total goes on to 73. So good cricket on the part of Windward Island Volcanoes.
So the scoring rate is, I believe, exactly 10 runs thereabout. And Gulshan make his way back to the top of his mark. Auguste hoiks this one high. Is he going to beat the fielder? No, he doesn't. And a good take and catch there, keeping his eye on the rope. So there goes Auguste, gone for 25, looking to clear the long off fence, but didn't have enough on it. And slapping the pads as he make his way back, because he knew that there was an opportunity for him to probably press on and make even more for the Windward Islands today.
Well, definitely, I think he just stroked it rather than really putting some power behind it. You saw that on the replay. He just stroked it, and he went right a long way. And good judgment on the part of the fielder, and taking that just in front of the ropes. And you can see him there just stabling himself as he looks down at the ropes. But so good judgment on the part of the fielder, and Auguste has to make his way back.
Have I seen his foot on the rope there?
It's a bit difficult for us from this side to see, but I did a boundary check.
Pretty close there, but Auguste is already back in the pavilion. There's no DSR here at Park Hill. We're just showing that for the benefit of our viewers. And new batsman is out.
Stephen Pascal.
Stefan Pascal. So 73 for the loss of one in this 8th over. But indeed a good start here for the Windward Islands. As Pascal to take his first knock and beaten outside the off stump. He just pushed at it. Didn't really and truly move his feet there. Just pushed the bat to ball and went through to wicketkeeper. The total remains on 73 for one.
And so a good partnership being broken there by Gulshan, as Auguste just stroked it and was caught on the long off boundary. He went for 25, and Pascal getting his first knock.
First knock for these games thus far. And this one, looking to guide it between the wicketkeeper and that gully fielder. They didn't get anything onto it. That's the end of over number 9, and at the end of it, it's 73 for one. Windward Islands chasing 180.
It's really the end of over number 8.
Number 8. So
just about 9 runs and over.
Well, that's the required rate to take you up to 180. So they're going at a good clip, the Volcanoes, as Lalit will continue from the southern end. As Captain Melius, he's not out on 43. No doubt will want to get to that 50 and then press on for the Windward Island Volcanoes to ensure that they take victory in this the second game. Lalit. And Melius pulls one bounce down to long on and takes a single in the process. Total goes on now to 74. Of course, in the first game, when Nepal looked more or less dead and buried the likes of Irie and Sampal and plucked victory out of the air.
Definitely, and they took the faster bowlers to the cleaners.
Lalit. And this one bounced a bit at the batsman. And Pascal new to the wicket. Caught in a bit of a problem there, but in the end...
I think he's yet to get bat on ball.
There comes Lalit. This one is through the offside. Fielder comes off that extra cover boundary. And finally off the mark is Stefan Pascal. Grenadian player. Known more for his pace rather than handling the bat. So I'm a little surprised that he's in at number 3, but maybe just being given that opportunity. As Lalit comes in now to Melius. And Melius, this one off the edge is going to probably get into the boundary. He's looking to pull this one somewhere over mid-wicket. But it took the outside edge, and luckily for him, it didn't spoon or anything like that, or went to any fielder. And raced down to the third man fence.
It flew down to third man and into the fence for 4. He goes on to 48. The total now on to 79. But I think he was lucky there.
Yeah, without a doubt, yes. Well, sometimes you need a bit of luck.
Yes, Lady Luck has followed him.
So, Lalit, as I said, seemed to be creating a bit of a problem and there you see the return ball striking Pascal. But Lalit comes in now, and this time he's to the pitch of it and works it into the onside. Fielding to his own bowling, there's Lalit. And Melius settles. Delivery that he rocks back and just forces into the offside. And for a moment I thought he was going to go a little bit more to the left of Irie, but only found Irie in that cover position. That's the end of over number 9, and at the end of it is 79 for 1.
79 for 1. So a good over indeed, I would say, on the part of Lalit, pulling things back a bit. And these two would have to just pace themselves as we look at a number of school children making their way into the pavilion.
It's very good for the youngsters to come and see cricket at this level. Nepal international team, of course, they're into their second Worldcup in the Caribbean, and there you see even some of the young lasses being here at Park Hill. Charging down the wicket, there's Pascal. He gets one, and the fielder's onto it. They're looking for the second, but that is not going to be. And total goes on now to 80. 80 for 1. And over number 10. And there we see some of the students. I believe they're from the Park Hill Government School.
Just around there, a few feet, 100 yards away from here.
That's Gulshan. Motos in. And this time wrapping the pad there of Melius. And there was no appeal, that was outside the off stump, so no threat there to Melius, just missed the ball completely.
I think it was a little bit too casual there in terms of the way he approached that. And he has to be very mindful. As a captain, you would want to see your team home.
Well, he's on 48, too short of that half century. As here comes Gulshan. And that's a loud appeal, but I believe the height there might have certainly helped Melius, but a good delivery from Gulshan.
It continues to create a bit of a problem for the batters. And they threw for a leg by.
Interesting to have a look at this replay. That's for the run out. There was absolutely no problem there, but I believe Melius was saved by the height that time around.
Yes, because he was going back, and I think it was above the knee roll, and I think Umpire Butler just indicating there the height.
Yes. So Pascal will now take strike. Charges down the wicket and straight into the arms of the fielder there at that whitish long on position. And Nepal came in the second wicket.
A good catch indeed. It was hit very firmly indeed, but straight to the fielder who judged it well. He charged the bowler. He hit it very firmly indeed. And there is the fielder just taking that catch in front of the ropes. Again, very close to the ropes, but I think from our vantage point, I was looking at it, I think he was quite safe.
Quite safe. And we saw that in the replay there as he tosses the ball back. So, the Netherlands losing their second wicket, that of Stefan Pascal. Not normally a top order batter. And I was, asking the question as to why you're bringing Pascal at this point in time. But the dressing room will certainly have the rationale. He's gone nonetheless, and it's 81 for the loss of 2 in this, the 10th over. So, Melius is still there. Kimani Melius. So, Kavem Hodge, the new batter. Batting at number 4 for the Winning Island Volcanoes. Gulshan in, and this one, well played there by Hodge.
I'm looking at the structure. It certainly does not look like Kavem Hodge. Okay, Kavem Hodge was the batter who got out, and Pascal is now at the crease. So he's off the mark on 1, and well played here by Melius. He gets a single, he goes on to 49, and the total now on to 83. But Kavem Hodge was the batter who got out.
Yeah.
I was looking at the number and it says Kavem Hodge, and Pascal is now making his way out. He's on 1.
So, information being rectified with our scorers. So it's actually Stefan Pascal who was in the middle, and Kavem Hodge, who didn't really look the part. Definitely,
I think one looks at him from the very first game to this one, really seems not to have really been middling it, and in the end perished at a deep mid-wicket position.
So 83 for the loss of 2. The Winning Island Volcanoes, after some 10 overs, halfway mark, 180 required. And there's a bowling change at the southern end. It looks as if it's going to be Bertel.
Yes, Bertel is going to pick it up.
This time he'll be bowling to Melius, who's on 49. And Melius gets that half century, just caresses it down to backward point. Fielder comes around, picked up 1 more to the total. That's 50 to Melius as he raises his bat, and certainly getting a good applause from this appreciative crowd here at Park Hill. Winning Islands now on to 84 for the loss of 2 wickets in this, the 11th over. And now Stefan Pascal is going to take strike. So here comes Bertel to Pascal. Pascal drives it into the offside. Can only find Irie, who's marshalling in that cover region. So that is true. So
Melius 50 coming off, 36 deliveries, 7 fours and 2 sixes.
Good going there by the Winning Island Volcanoes captain. 50 off 36. As this one is well fielded there by Bertel. And he's rubbing that left knee of his, would have been struck in the knee. And even more so as he dove to his left, you can see the remains of the dust from the pitch on his clothing.
Well, he's dusting himself off. But it was a very good stop on the part of Bertel there.
Well done. Comes in now, and this time worked off the pad. Here comes in on mid wicket, and one more. Total now on to 85 for the loss of 2. So it's important that these two in Melius, as we look at this replay once again, there's Bertel coming off with a good save, and I think he would have probably struck his knee into the pitch. That's primarily what happened a while ago. He's much better now. Comes in now to bowl to Melius, and Melius hits this one high.
Someone is circling underneath
the long
it.
off fielder. He does take the catch. So there goes the prize scalp of Melius just after completing his 50. Looking to go over long off. Didn't make it this time. Catch taken with an Islands 85 for 3.
Well, at top edge, and I was just going to make the point that Nepal just pulling things back a bit, because the Windward Island Volcanoes, they were going at a pretty good clip, and that's the problem here. You lost a few wickets can really put you under pressure, and I think Nepal just about pulling things back here, as we can see Descartes making his way out.
And yet another good catch
and
on the ropes.
Right on the ropes.
The 3 dismissals have all been on the ropes.
Very close to the ropes as well.
Very, very close to the ropes. And on all occasions, the fielders doing some good work.
Good judgment on the part of the fielders.
So they've been good at the catching. A little scrappy in the outfield. But at 85 for 3, Nepal still very much in the hunt here today. That's the Park Hill playing field in this practice game, all in preparation for Cricket World Cup 2024. That's the T20 Cricket World Cup being held in the Caribbean and the United States. And of course, the final of these practice games will take place on Saturday. We'll come back here at the Park Hill playing field. After that, Nepal will depart St. Vincent and they'll head on to Texas, USA, where I understand they'll be having some practice sessions also. We'll be taking on a Houston 11, and it'll be interesting to see cricket in those parts in Texas.
Oh, definitely. I think they are looking forward for it.
More accustomed to New York and Florida, Fort Lauderdale, but Texas, that's pretty interesting.
Very much so. Had the opportunity of passing through Texas once. Right. So cricket really spreading its wings in a number of areas. And I think there will be cricket in Long Island.
Yes.
During the World Cup.
Yes.
Those are areas that you're not known to hear a lot of.
Here comes Bertel, all dusted, but he's picked up the scalp of Melius, and this time Descartes is back. Ball is quickly back into the gloves of the keeper, but couldn't avoid that single. The end of over number 11, and the end of a very, very good over there from Bertel.
And a successful over as well.
Yes.
So it's 85, so the run rate dropping, and they would expect, the Windward Islands would expect a few batters to come in and try to push things along. Descartes, he can hit the ball very far, strong lad, and he's off the mark, so just wait to see. 86 for 3 at the end of over number 11, and with Descartes on 1, Pascal, they would want a partnership between these two and really push the pressure back on Nepal, because Nepal just about pushing the pressure onto the Windward Island batters. So he's airy from the northern end.
Driven into the offside, and Padel not being able to get around in time. One more added to the total is now on to 87 for the loss of 3. That's 87 for 3. Windward Island Volcanoes taking a target. fielder is off the boundary, and just one more resulting. So they're certainly rotating the strike, the Winter Island Volcanoes, picking up the singles, but having lost those 2 quick wickets, certainly want to consolidate here and press on outside the off stump and into that point position. There's Bertel picking it up, and no run resulting. Good outfield cricket there from Bertel. Avery now to...
Where are you going?
Well, Pascal was just simply there looking at the Descartes. He's like, where are you hustling to? Got back in time nonetheless. Airy. And that's the reverse sweep. And there's Bertel diving neatly to his right there. Didn't pick up cleanly, but did enough to avoid the ball passing him and adding even more. They got a single in the process. It's now 89 for the loss of 3.
I certainly have saved the boundary.
Yes. So, Stefan Pascal. This one is bowled. And a really awful looking shot there from Pascal. And he looks disappointed, but I would have been disappointed with a shot like that. It really and truly was agricultural, as we said, and losing his stumps in the process. The Winter Islands now 89 for 4.
Well, I think a poor shot on the part of Pascal, because you must recognize that Airy has not been flighting the balls.
He's whatsoever.
He's pushing it through, so it would hustle you. It's easier to play him on the front foot. There he was looking for a pull shot, and that was through him. The bounce has also done him, because he was looking for more bounce, but that one kept a little low, and it was through him before he completed the shot.
So Stefan Pascal back to the pavilion, and the new batter is Dylan Douglas, who had a good first game, scored 50 for the Winter Island Volcanoes in that losing cause, posted 196 in that game, and a lot will be expected of Douglas, along with Descartes, who also would have supported Douglas in that opening game.
And the Dylan Douglas, a very talented individual indeed. Good batter, good all-round player. He keeps wicket. He also bowls off spin. Very good in the field as well. So very, very talented, very grounded cricketer. And one would hope, for the sake of Winter Island Volcanoes, that he comes good again.
Well, Bertel is going to continue. And this is the 13th over. So
Nepal just about tightening the screws.
Certainly. At one time, the Winter Islands were just over 10 runs per over as Bertel comes in to Descartes outside the off stump and left alone, having a look at the umpire as if it was wide, but umpire not interested. Considered to be a legal delivery. And Bertel tossing the ball from hand to hand. Moves in now to Descartes with that attempted reverse sweep and missed by the wicketkeeper. I believe this is going to be a bye. Let's see. Well, apparently would have gotten some bat
Seemed to have got some bat out it.
So not the area that he would have wanted that delivery to go, but getting a run in the process. And that's Descartes going on to 3. It's now 90 for the loss of 4. Bertel. With his leg breaks, comes in now. And this one knocked around the corner there by Douglas. Looked a little tentative, but got enough bat onto the ball. And in the process, a single getting off the mark. He's on to 1.
So he's off that dreaded 0. And Descartes, the left-hander, comes back into strike. So left-hand, right-hand combination.
Fairly long run up here for Bertel. Comes in now to Descartes. This one hits into the arms of that's
Rohit Podell, the captain.
Yes.
Out too long on.
Good catch there from the Nepalese captain. And 91 for 5. Descartes, certainly who would have had a lot to offer to the Winter Island Volcanoes, going back to the pavilion. Life might be a little bit more difficult going forward from here, Charlo?
Well, certainly, I think this will be very, very difficult. It looks like Ned who is making a result, but good running catch there by the captain. And took it. Their catching have been good, but their outgrown feeling has really, in some areas, left a lot to be desired.
So that's Rohit Patel, Nepalese captain, leading from the front as far as that catch was concerned. He's had some scrappy moments in the outfield, but as you said, Charlo, they've taken every opportunity that they've come their way in terms of catches, the Nepal team.
Definitely, and 4 of the batters have all been caught on the boundary, except for Pascal, who was bowled, playing a really atrocious shot.
Certainly. So, Darren Ned, a new batter, and Bertel, who's picked up 2 wickets, will continue from the southern end. He came good at the bat in that first game. Almost single-handedly took the Nepal team home. Comes in now to bowl to Ned, and Ned is back. Just forces it into the offside. There's absolutely no run available.
But you can see the buoyancy in terms of the Nepalese in the field.
Yes.
That's what success does.
Without a doubt. As Bertel, with his leg breaks, coming out to bowl to Ned. And Ned drives down to long on, and that's long off, sorry. That's a well-taken shot. 4 good runs there off the bat of Ned.
Oh, definitely a beautiful shot by Ned. But looking at Bortel, he reminds me so much of Rashid Khan. The leg spinner.
Yes. You're so correct, Charlo.
That was tossed up, and Ned was launched into it and drove it sweetly through between extra cover and mid-off. And Captain Padel on mid-off boundary just watched it go across the ropes.
And absolutely no chance there. So 95 with a loss of 5. Mr. Volcanoes after 13 overs. And these 2 in the middle in Ned and Douglas. Ned has already shown that he has the ability, he has the class. And we know what Dylan Douglas can do. So all is not lost here for this Windward Islands team.
So Lalit comes back into the attack.
Switching ends once again. Back to the northern end, the mountainous end, the hillside end here at the Parker playing field. Sun out in all its glory here this afternoon. But there's still that nice cooling breeze that's coming into our commentary position. Lalit. And this one, Douglas just works it calmly into the offside. The off for a quick single.
Comfortably taken.
Yes, Irie came around very quickly indeed. And picked up, quickly had the ball back into the gloves of his wicketkeeper, but couldn't avoid that run. 96 for 5. So Lalit it is to continue. And now asking for the fielder just to come around a bit to that deep cover boundary. It's time to bolt and Ned. And Ned showing some respect there. Just working it back up along the pitch. Defensive mood. So Lalit will be happy with that. So to Captain Podell and the rest of this Nepalese team. As coming once again to bowl to Ned. And Ned gets one that jumped at him off of the pitch, but he was on top of it and just pushed it into the offside. 1 more to the total.
Soft hands and a really comfortable single taken by these 2. Dylan Douglas, who have been rather quiet, and comes in to strike.
So Douglas with that 49 on his back. To this delivery, worked it into the head-on area. Fielder comes off the long-on fence, and just 1 more added. So they're rotating the strikes. They're doing it in singles, but in the 14th over, there's that need for that occasional boundary.
You need some boundaries.
So Nepal will be comfortable with this type of batting, and there's Douglas bowled.
In fact, it was Ned looking to white that old one wide long on. lost his stumps. House them knocked back in the process, so Windward's sink further into trouble.
98 for 6, and this the 14th over. And Ned, as we have a look at the replay, head in the air and completely bowled there. So he goes back to the pavilion. And
as if Hooper makes his way out.
So Hooper, as we know,
can bat.
No rabbit with the bat, yes.
Can bat. Can hit the ball a long way as well.
So there we see Ned not getting to the pitch of that one. Preconceived shot, and that's the whole matter, the pressure, not getting the boundaries. And Ned finding it necessary or wanting to certainly get over the ropes or push the scoring on, giving his wicket away.
That's what pressure does. Push you in that mood to want to do something, to push it on, and here it is. He did something rash and paid the penalty.
So Asif Hooper now will settle. Lalit is in. And back and across, and just works it into the onside. The bowler fielding to his own bowling, and that's the end of over number 14.
99.
With just 6 more overs to go and 81 to get, 36 deliveries and 81 runs to get.
It's not impossible.
Yeah, but
we really have to see some serious ball beating to get there.
So those are the two batters in the middle, Asif Hooper and Dylan Douglas, who have lost his helmet. Both batsmen, as a matter of fact, without helmet. As it's been slow bowling here from the Nepalese team. Bertel will continue from the southern end.
He's enjoying his job.
Yeah, you can see it on his face. He's really enjoying his time out there, tossing ball from hand to hand. And as Asif Hooper just marking his guard, a little bit of cleaning the under pitch area. And they now settle as Bertel, opening batter and doing some bowling. Hooper down the wicket, sweeps, and out caught. Good catch there by Airy.
Their catching has been outstanding.
So Asif Hooper being caught on the mid-wicket fence at 99 for 7. The writing appears to be on the wall for this Winwood Island team. Straight into the arms there of Airy, making absolutely no mistake. And Nepal claiming their 7th wicket. The Volcanoes under pressure.
Definitely, and Larry Edwards makes his way out. But their catching really have been outstanding.
Well, it's one of the things that even during the break, we saw them doing a lot of practicing with regards to the catching, and certainly this paid off. And every single opportunity being presented here today off the bat of the Volcanoes player, as far as catches are concerned, being taken by this Nepal team. So 99 for 7.
So one left-hander replacing the other, Larry Edwards.
So Edwards, this time with a cap, will face to Bertel. And pushes into the offside, and again you see that misfield. That's an area that they certainly have to work on. This Nepal team.
Fortunately, it didn't go far. Didn't give away an extra run. But their ground feeling has been very poor.
Bertel. Edwards tucks it into that mid-wicket position, short mid-wicket. And the two fielders converging on it, and Lalit and Irie winning the run, or the race, I should say. Irie.
Exuberant Irie.
Burdell will continue. The 100 is on the board for the Volcanoes, but they need another 80 to get victory here today. Only 3 wickets in hand. And that's Dylan Douglas working it off his legs for one more. And 101 now for the loss of 7. From a stage of 70 without loss to 101 for 7.
Some 31 runs.
Yeah, not good work there for the Wooden Island team. As Burtell now will come in to bowl to Larry Edward, and Edward looking to just work this one somewhere between that point and short third man position and getting the batter onto the ball and into the gloves there of the keeper. Still 101 for 7. Burtell. And this one is driven to that mid-on position, and well, had he struck the stump there, it might have very well been interesting.
Yeah, certainly it would have been. And Edwards, he goes on to 102, so some 78 runs still needed.
But 5 overs to go. So
30, 78 from 30.
Not a situation where you
need more than 2 runs and over.
Right.
So it's going to be a big axe, particularly when you have the lower order.
Well, it's exactly 14 runs per over.
With Douglas being the main batter, but he's at the non-striker's end.
Well, it's 78, sorry. It's more than 14 runs per over, Charlo.
14 point. Try to do the math.
15.6 runs per over. So it's a tall order for this Wooden Islands team, as we see there's a bit of a delay. Both batters having a look at the players' pavilion, and helmet is now being brought out as it's going to be Gulshan being reintroduced into the attack. So with the pace of Gulshan, the batters, of course, making sure that they have that protective headgear in their helmets. And there we see, just having a look at the wonderful surroundings here at Park Hill. Lone player all the way out in that deep position. That's Sumpal. But Gulshan is going to continue with the bowling here for the Nepal team. Edwards gets it off, and again that was close.
Had that struck, he certainly would have been making his way back to the pavilion. But there's urgency on the part of Douglas to get the strike.
We noticed that, definite urgency. And he's a player who can certainly turn it around for the Wooden Island Volcanoes.
Certainly something that the crowd would enjoy at this particular moment, if Douglas can really to get into his strides and take the bowlers on.
There he goes. High, that's into the hills. That's 6 runs. Wonderful shot off the bat.
Well, I just mentioned it. I just mentioned it, and the crowd erupted.
So, Dylan Douglas showing his intention. We're into the 16th over. 4 more after this, and that was literally climbing the mountain.
Well, definitely, and there must be a replacement ball, because you're not going to get there.
There's no way you're going to retrieve the ball out of there. As you have a look at that replay, high and hard over long on and into the bushed area, that hilly bushed area here at Park Hill. And there's no way you're going to find that ball, as we see already in the middle. The umpire receiving the reserve ball. That's umpire Butler. Just having a look at it and tosses it on now to Gulshan.
So we see Gulshan just throwing it to his captain. Captain had a look at it. He's satisfied and gives it back to Gulshan. So he will have to continue.
Gulshan breaks into his stride now. The ball to Douglas again. And this time, in defense, pushes it back up along the onside. Equal to his own bowling. There's Gulshan. And some good fielding on the leg side. Total remains at 109 for 7. So a lot depends on Douglas here for the Winter Island Volcanoes. .71 runs required as Gulshan comes in now. And this one, deft touch off the bat. They threw for 1. And, well, that should not have been a second. And, well, Douglas decided to stay in his ground. And just one wide. It's now 110 for 7.
But you see, it's good field placing on the part of the captain Padu. He had the third man right in place, so it was neatly played by Douglas, but it was only kept to a single.
That's Edwards punching into the onside, and they'll pick up another single. The Volcanoes.
Lord Nelson,
yes.
1-1-1.
111. Skipping a hop.
Famous David Shepherd.
Yes.
Sheppy.
We do remember him. 111 for 7. As Gulshan comes in now to bowl, this time to Dylan Douglas, and Douglas is bowled.
Slow delivery. Deceived. And I think that's the writing on the wall for the Windwards.
Well, Nelson had a say.
Very much so. And they see Otney Lewis making his way out. There's no slouch with the bat, really. But there was Douglas, deceived there by the slow delivery.
Yes, just through the shot, and we haven't even, there you go, way through the shot before the delivery made its way in. And leg stump knocked back. It's 111 for 8. The Volcanoes certainly in some huge problems here this afternoon at the Park Hill playing field.
Middle stump knocked back. So some 16 overs completed. 111 now for 8. And
so Otney Lewis, the new batter, in, and with just 4 overs to go, some 24 deliveries, 79 runs required, 2 wickets in hand. It's a mountain to climb here this afternoon for the Winter Island Volcanoes in this practice game. 111 for 8. As change in bowling from the southern end, as Bertel would have finished his spell.
One more wicket
one worked nicely down to fine leg, and Healer gets around, picking it up. So one more to the total there for the Windward Island Volcanoes.
Is it Bohara?
It is Bohara. I was bowling from the southern end. So Neil Lewis will have his first strike here this afternoon. Can he do the unthinkable for the Windward Islands? As Bohara moves in. And one up in the block hole and straight to that short third man position. No run resulting.
Had to come very hard down on that one. He flew down to that short third man.
Well, the third man is now being pushed right back on defensive by Captain Rohit Badel. And Bohara sensing victory here for Nepal. Comes in now into this delivery. Lewis drives down to long on, and just one more added to the total. So, and certainly the Volcanoes, in terms of the shot selection, that's where they would have faltered.
Definitely.